All right, so in a world of inline six turbos and V8s, it feels to me like everyone I've met who's crazy enough to build a big power Evo or STI has a point to prove, especially up here in the Pacific Northwest where Subarus dominate. Now, in the Evo world, the 10th generation is the most unloved, especially when compared to the older Evos, and that makes the mountain even taller to climb. That was Lee and his, what sounds like an insane 800 horsepower, 9,500 RPM Evo 10, and it sounds like he's got a point to prove. Let's go for a drive. Don't stall it, Marcus, don't stall it. That is my only goal right now. All right, there we go. It's got a twin disc clutch, so as with any car like this, it takes a couple seconds to just kind of get used to it. Every car is slightly different in how it drives, but rev it up to about 2,500, let it slip a little bit, and then you're good. I thought the drone was gonna be the loudest thing. No, it's the fuel pumps. Lee has built this car along with his business partner. They built a bunch of Evos, 64, 66, ball bearing turbo inside. It's running about 30 pounds of boost, so not anything crazy. Full ethanol E85. Lee said, you know, as soon as he even hit like 400 horsepower, he went straight to E85, which makes sense to me. Get a little bit better spool, yeah, worse fuel economy, but the power gains, even just looking under the hood for a brief moment, what I see is attention to detail. Everything down to the hardware is done up really well. The turbo setup is incredible. I mean, these were, according to Lee, I guess, a semi-open deck, so not completely open like the non-Evolution Lancers of this generation, but also not a closed deck. And we're sitting right at about 750 wheel horsepower. That's Mustang numbers, so probably closer to 800, 850 dyno jet numbers. Just remarkable. That's a loud car. Tunnel vision. That's what that is, tunnel vision. All right, it's actually manageable. It's totally manageable. I don't know what RPM I'm shifting at. The shift lights completely, they just converge in the center on the top of the digital dash, and as soon as it just all goes red, that's when the red mist has taken over. That's when I shifted. I'm gonna guess I was somewhere around 8,000. It revs to 9,500. So maybe I have another 1,000 RPM to go, but I have no idea. By the time I think about shifting, by the time I get my hand down to the shifter, from looking at 8,000, I'm probably around 9,000. We've got a full bolt-in 7-point Cusco roll cage. This is interesting too. Lee told me he took out everything from the inside of the doors, so it all looks factory, but there's no sound system in here. The head unit is just for show because he put the digital dash in. A lot of the lights on the interior don't work. I do have AC running now though, which is awesome. Like clockwork, every shift it's got the backfire on it. Not a backfire, but you know what I mean. That is incredible. Yeah, top of third. I mean, I don't even see the speedo. I can't see the speedo. That's probably for my own good. It's not that frightening, to be honest. It's way more manageable than I would have expected. It feels more planted than an equivalently powered Evo 8 or 9, which I've driven around this power level. It feels slightly less frightening. Also, like, you put in a roll cage in a car, you do some of these improvements, and they do begin to make the car feel stronger, a little bit less flexy. And again, this is not an older Evo. It's not as much of a tin can as the older ones were, but I can't think. The drone is horrendous. The drone is so bad. I mean, these cars were so ahead of their time. So incredibly ahead of their time. With all the torque vectoring, these factory and the rear diff had split torque vectoring side to side with the rear diff. And then of course the center differential putting in work. The factory settings for the center differential, because of the standalone, have all been just kind of, they're not being used. They've been shoved aside to do nothing. They've been put on permanent retirement, right? I just assume the center diff has the same constant all-wheel drive 50-50 split between the front and the rear, and then the rear diff still putting in work. But to me, this is a like Texas 2K half-mile car. It's still to the point though where you can drive this on the street. I can use the power, and sure, it doesn't roll on until 5,000 RPM, but in between gears, it's a quick split second before you have torque again. Yeah, this wouldn't be so great in traffic, but it's still a street car. It is still a street car. I mean, the roll cage is questionable. Yes, dangerous, I know. So that's like the only thing, but everything else really has been done here. We've got 265s all the way around, 10.5-inch wide wheels, Advans, 6 setup. It doesn't really rub, it's not too stiff. Yeah, the factory did something right with this car, even though it might not be as loved as all the other generations. It's not my favorite generation, not even close, but you can't deny how capable these cars are. Stock transmission, stock axles, that is incredible.
Hey guys, my name's Lee Conroy. It's my 2015 Mitsubishi Evolution X. When I bought it, had one owner, 25,000K. It was, when I mean stock, stock, downpipe, muffler, everything except an airbox and a 3-port boost controller and a cob access port. That was it. Factory wheels, factory headlights, everything like that. They make wicked good horsepower. They're not, I don't want to say simple to build, but you can make 600 horsepower on them for, you know, under 10 grand. It has proven itself now, I find. It's proven itself to compare. Some people hate it, but, you know, compare just as good as the 4G63 as the 4B11 is. It's the amount that you pay for the power you can get out of it.
Yes.
For sure, there's pros and cons to each one, but I mean, I like the chassis. I've seen some other people build some, you know, well over 1,000 horsepower. They perform, they're good. I wanted a drag car. I wanted something that was bang gears, like, just let's fucking go. That's what I wanted. I wanted something that would rev out fast. The sound of them, the boost, the look, the style was, it's like you do it, you hit 500, it's like, yeah, cool. That's, you get that like, oh shit, man.
Yeah.
You drive it around for 2 weeks, you're okay, I need more.
Yeah.
I need more. So we hit this, it was more of like a goal. I wanted to see with my tuner, like how far we could push a stock block. I won't say this is a bulletproof block for sure. It's non-sleeve, right? So you're kind of gambling every time, but
yeah, knock on wood.
Pushing how far you can push the platform is what makes me want to keep going. Put it together and let's experiment. So the turbo right now, it's a Precision 6466 Gen 2 ball bearing turbo. I bought a V-band ETS top mount kit, dual precision wastegates, open dumps down the bottom. It does have a 4-inch ETS intercooler. The motor, the head of it is a fully built head. It's full GSC work. It's got GS3 S3 cams, beehive springs, retainers, GSC valve seals, the guides. It's a full GSC head. The motor is a factory 2-liter motor, non-sleeve, factory crank, like factory block. It's just got Wiseco pistons, Manley I-beam rods, ACL race bearings. It's factory head gasket, ARP 625 studs. Everything else almost factory. Factory oil pump, factory timing chain, factory oil pan, pickup tubes. It's got a turbo guard. I don't need an air intake. We let that turbo eat.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, yeah, we let that thing eat, man. Let it spool. Other than that, man, that's it. Like factory intake manifolds, throttle bodies. It's nothing. It's like as stock as we could keep it and push it. It revs out 9,500. We put it on the dyno. It like the graph was just going up. It was ready to do 10. I want to drive it for the summer, right? I don't want to blow it up. So that's kind of like the head studs and the head gasket keep it together. Let's just enjoy it for the summer, right? It pops, it bangs, it sounds sick, it shoots fire. I mean, you heard it, right? Yeah. So it's wicked. Yeah. I'd like to do 1,000 horsepower. If I could do 1,000 horsepower in a 4-cylinder block, I don't like it'd just be cool to say, yeah, hey, the car can do 1,000. If you have it on like a kill, it's that one map just to rip it, sure. Yeah. Like I said, it's at 750 on a Mustang dyno. It's way more than what you need in the street. I don't drive it often, so you still get that good kick. It's still a rush when you drive it. Yeah. Like it's not a daily car at all. I can still go get coffee in it. I went to Timmy's this morning, grabbed a tea, so yeah, it's good that way. But yeah, the first time it hooked and it went, it was a rush. It gives you goosebumps. It was, I can't even describe the feeling. It was like unbelievable.
It's the best. That's the best.
Yeah, man, that adrenaline rush you get was like shit, 13 Red Bulls in one hit, dude. It was crazy. The thing I find a lot of people is when you build something like this, when it comes down to anything high horsepower, the engine management is crazy. The person doing your tune, you can have the best build in the world, man. You could get anybody, the quality builder, the best motor builder ever, and you have somebody who doesn't know how to tune. That's the crucial part that destroys cars, blows them up. I mean, us experimenting how far it could go, it could have been put on the dyno, it blows up too after everybody told me no, but it didn't. Yeah. Right? But I have a standalone ECU in it. My tuner knows that ECU like the back of his hand. It's works great, it's phenomenal. The fail safes that are in it is what really saves the car if anything is to happen. My buddies and stuff I've brought out, they say, yeah, like, they just feel their stomach go back or they're sucked back in the seat. That's what's up. That's fun. Right?
Yeah, that's cool. Rush, so. To finally be able to share it with people. Yeah. And to see people literally lose control of themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it. I'm sure
everybody. You've seen it. Do it on video, and I've done it with buddies in their Evos too, like 700 horsepower. They go to film it, and you're like, okay, you ready? Yeah. You're there at the camera, and it hits, and like I've just dropped my phone. Yeah. You're just there, like, oh shit, hanging on, right? Yeah. It's like that's the best. To be able to share it with somebody and let them experience it or see the car and show what we've done is. I love that kind of shit, right? So
Lee sounds crazy though. It sounds like he's addicted to power. It sounds like it's undeniable he's an adrenaline junkie, but at the same time, it seems to me like he just wants to help people out, help people build cars and help people enjoy their cars for as long as possible, not just to have them be a dyno queen kind of thing. So that's cool. If you guys want to go check out Lee's stuff, it'll be in the description. Thank you so much, Lee, for bringing the car out. Appreciate the seat time very much. This has been so much fun. Yeah, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Hit the like button, really helps us out. We'll see you soon.